We are back with the I Still Believe in Cleveland podcast. And man, we've got some trades to talk about, maybe trades to come. We'll see. But let's start with the big one. Gentlemen, we're talking some Cavs. Darius Garland, sad to see him leave. James Harden coming to town. Drew, let's go with you first here. Do you like the trade?
My first reaction, Ryan, was like this was like Vince bringing in the NWO, pretending he's gonna like poison the team. I was in a bad place here at first when I heard this. It was and like thinking about it, it's not great here today to say that the Cavs have traded Darius Garland for a half-year rental of 36-year-old James Harden. That is the truth of what this trade is. Now, you have to dig a little deeper into this. Darius is not healthy. He's averaging 30 minutes a game. He can't move. He's a liability defensively. It's all very painful, literally, to watch. He cannot move the way that he has moved in the past, and you're not sure if it's ever going to be the same again. And that sucks to have to say that. But Harden's averaging 35 minutes a game, over 25 points per game. He's shooting 35 from three. He is still a good player, and you know that there's a financial piece to this, which I haven't gotten into, but I think that plays a bigger part in why this was actually finalized.
Let's go to the accountant. Was there a financial piece here, Eric? What do you think about the trade?
Yeah, kind of like the Todd Monken hire. I was initially skeptical, kind of concerned with the announcement, but I'm gonna be supportive. It's a Cleveland team, hopefully they make the right move. It was a big move, not as big as Hulk Hogan being the third man going to NWO, but still a big move. I thought this trade was facilitated for three reasons, and three reasons why I believe this is a good move. One, the scoring points per game, 25.4 to 18 over Garland. Two, the availability, playing in 26 games this year and 70 over the course of a season, being Darius Garland versus James Harden, which has played 44 out of 48 games, 79 and 72 the last two seasons prior to, almost all of them. He's also a good facilitator that can get Evan Mobley involved that we really haven't seen Darius Garland do. And being 4 inches taller, being somewhat of a defensive, if nothing else, being a defensive large person who can kind of defend something that I guess Darius Garland cannot do. So we'll take that. He's got some physical capabilities that Darius Garland has limitations.
I'm letting him points like James Harden might be on the
Yeah,
defensive end here.
that's tough when you think you got an upgrade defensively with James Harden.
Got a little bit of size. But this wasn't the first trade. We saw DeAndre Hunter go back a year. Drew called out that trade. It was great news last year. DeAndre Hunter, pretty good in the playoffs. But trading him right now for Dennis Schröder, Keon, Ellis. Eric, let's go back to you. What do you think about that trade?
I'm kind of so-so on this one. Hunter's gone down from 17.2 points per game to 14.2 since joining the Cavaliers. Maybe it was his hand injury in the playoffs last year. Maybe it was losing his college teammate Ty Jerome to free agency over the season. But for whatever reason, he's been inconsistent and lackluster this year. Schroeder's a veteran, kind of come off the bench, spark plug guy for the Cavs. He's been averaging, 12.8 points and about 3.5 rebounds per game, hit 3 assists, nothing flashy. But he is roughly kind of averaging what DeAndre Hunter is, and being 6 inches shorter and 40 pounds lighter is kind of impressive for that, veteran presence. Ellis is a youthful player who they like their upside, solid backup shooting guard is the hopes. He's been averaging only 6.3 points per game and 2 rebounds. So it kind of comes down to the financial component, I would see, of this one, where DeAndre Hunter has a $25 million cap hit in 2027, whereas Keon Ellis has he's an unrestricted free agent after this year. Dennis Schroeder's cap hits are 14 and 15. So you're getting that $11 million flexibility for next year. And then if you want to move Ellis or Schröder after next year to have that last expiring contract. That's in a capability for the Cavs. So I think it's more of a financial component. Hopefully those two players can make up for one player, but I'll look at it as the financial component.
Drew, what do you think about the trade? Or the Cavs trying to send a message with not the best start to the start of the season?
Maybe, and I hadn't thought about that, but I do like this trade a heck of a lot more than the Darius Garland trade. I mean, Keon Ellis is 26. He plays 18 minutes a game. He's shooting almost 37% from three. He's a true 3-and-D wing shooting guard type player. You obviously needed an additional point guard, and that's even more, clear now with Darius gone. And I think Dennis Schroeder can be a very, capable point guard. At 32, he's still got a couple of good years left. He's averaging 26 minutes a game. He'll give you 5 or 6 assists. He'll give you 3 or 4 rebounds. He's got some size. He'll put in 10 to 15 points a night. I think he's averaging 13 right now. He's a decent shooter from both mid-range and from 3. So, I like DeAndre Hunter. He is my guy. We call this trade, but the emergence of Jalen Tyson has made him expendable, quite frankly. Jalen Tyson has been an epiphany for this team this year, and it made DeAndre Hunter a piece that you could move to get some flexibility, to get a point guard upgrade potentially, and at the very least to help out your depth. So I like the move overall. I think it's going to give them some depth throughout the last half of the season.
Let's go to the third quarter here. Lonzo Ball gone. Sadness there. I don't know. It's good to see him out there on the court. He didn't have a huge impact. But Drew, let's go back to you. Anything else? Should the Cavs do anything else here?
It's easy for me to sit here and say, yes, they should go add Giannis, right? Like, cool, that would be great. For starters, I would like to have the Isaac Okoro for Lonzo Ball trade back, especially knowing that they needed that they needed some help and some youth and some people who could play defense. And Okoro was all of those things, but they needed a point guard more than that. And now that they've acquired Harden and Schroeder, that they don't need him. The really shocking thing is with how poorly Lonzo has played this year, they actually had to give up 2 second-round picks just to trade his expiring contract, which is sort of hard to believe. I would love for the team to be able to add another depth piece, to be able to maybe gain some additional flexibility. But unlike last year, I don't have a crystal ball that I can rub and say this is what's going to happen. I'm sorry. What I will say is with all these trades, I think it's safe to say that this Cavs team, the 25-26 Cavs team, will never, ever be the same again, Chris Jericho.
Only 3. That was after the buzzer there. Eric, let's go to you. Anything else that the Cavs are going to do?
No, I mean, I think the Lonzo Ball, getting closer to the second apron. I was hoping to have my 2 aprons today and throw one away because hopefully they're getting so close to that first apron. I think they're only just under $4 million away. So that's the cost of doing business. Like you said, 2 second-round picks. That's now 3 second-round picks they've given away in trades, and just to lose $10 million off their cap. You could say, play my music, Shane McMahon, here comes the money, but that would be going away from the Cavs. Cavs giving away the money, lowering that cap hit. There's been rumors of Jared Allen to the Pacers. I think he's a viable frontcourt player, especially with Evan Mobley being injured. So I'm okay keeping him for this season. They need another big man, and he's been playing well. You saw what he did against the Trailblazers on Sunday. I want to see how this team can kind of react with one another. They made a couple changes. I like to see how the 3 new parts work with each other, and depending on what happens with their financial impacts and what happens next year and the salary cap and what apron, who knows, maybe a free agent, maybe that went to high school in St. Vincent St. Mary, maybe he comes back for a 3rd time. A lot of options, but I think we're going to stay the course for the year, worry about 27 and 27.
I'll add the 2 aprons in post. Let's go to the fourth quarter. So I believe the Cavs' chances with Vegas have pretty much been sliced in half for the better. Cavs much better shot at winning it all. But why? Why is this team? We watched them in the run last year. Why do they have a better chance this year? Eric, let's give you a first shot at that.
Well, the Cavs have had several lengthy injuries to most of their starters, including Garland, Mobley, and Allen. And despite that, they're currently sitting in 5th place in the East, only 3 games back of the 2nd spot. The teams they are chasing are the Toronto Raptors, a Jason Tatum-less Boston Celtics, a New York Knicks team coached by Mike Brown, and a Detroit Pistons team coached by JB Bickerstaff. Needless to say, it's nothing compared to what they've seen in the Western Conference, where they would be in the 8th place based solely on record alone. So what I'm saying is the Cavs are going to have to beat a lot of Owen Hart-like Nuggets to get to the to get to the Eastern Conference Finals and hopefully get to the NBA Finals. I expect Kenny Atkinson to coach up this team, finally hitting their stride, 8-2 of their last 10 games. I think Harden's offensive ability and length and perimeter is going to be a big upgrade over Garland. I think that's going to, kind of make this a completely different unit and is going to help take a lot of pressure off Donovan Mitchell, who's been kind of a one-man band this season. So I think they have all wheels going in motion and they're ready to go.
One-man band. I think there's a.
Oh, there was a one-man band reference there. I was going to hit that. That's too bad.
Drew, can the Cavs win it all? Why do they have a better shot here?
Yeah, I think much like Eric and the podcast right now, I think OKC is an absolute wagon, and I don't think anybody's catching them. But putting that team aside, this team, to Eric's point, can absolutely make the NBA Finals after all of these moves. They have a guy who is at least healthy next to Donovan Mitchell, who can absolutely put up 30, 35 points a night like it's nothing. Now, will he almost certainly vanish in the playoffs like he's done everywhere else he's ever played? Probably. But maybe being the number 3 option will take some pressure off him. He is not the number 1 guy on this team. He is not the number 2 guy. If Evan Mobley and Donovan Mitchell have bad games and then they lose, that's not on James Harden. I'm hoping that knowing he doesn't have that type of pressure, that he can play freely and be the sort of foul merchant that he is. That's hard to watch, but very effective. One of those guys you like having on your team. But just going through this lineup, Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley, James Harden, Jalen Tyson, Jared Allen, they've got a lot of really good depth. I'm excited for this Cavs team. Let's see where they end up.
It is exciting. You needed a wrestling reference there at the buzzer. Eric is the winner. Eric, do you have a headline post-trade deadline?
Embrace the beard. Cavs groom the roster to go for a title.
Ooh, very
I like
nice.
it.
Go Cavs. Talk to you all
Cavs.
soon.